My name's Adam Maness. Welcome to a little Open Studio Live here on a Wednesday afternoon. We have Chris Parks live in the studio. We're recording some cool YouTube videos that you're probably going to see coming up in the next couple weeks on our Shorts channel, maybe some other places. Let me know while we're getting started here. We're going to play a little bit, and let me know where you are in the world. Where are you from? Where are you practicing from today? We're going to be talking Bebop today. So we got Juneau, Alaska, Manchester, UK is in the house. The German, Swiss, French border, that's Tim. Maui is in the house. Hello from HTX. Rufus from Germany. I don't know where HTX is. Hathix? Do you know where that is?
I have no idea.
Texas? Leon is in the house. Chicago area is in the house. Puerto Rico is in the house. Can you teach us more about open voicings? We might talk about some open voicings.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's play a little bit. What was that you wanted to play?
Let's play Perdido.
Let's do it.
Barry has a tune on it called Nobodies.
Okay, cool.
So let's do it.
Let's try it.
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hey.
Everybody. Oh, Peter Martin's in the house. What's going on, Peter? What's up, Bob? What's up, everybody? It is swing time, y'all. What's up, Joe Mascaria's in the house. Mascaria. It's almost Halloween, Joe. Sorry, Joe Mascaria's in the house. What's up, Joe? Some Open Studio Pro folks are up in here. Italy's here. Massachusetts, home of Mike Stern, is here. Ed Zielinski's here. What's up, Roger? Just watching some of Chris's Barry Harris videos. We're going to be talking a lot about Barry Harris today for sure. It's great to have you all here. Very cool. Memphis, Tennessee's in the house. Chris, welcome, man.
Oh,
it's so nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Yeah,
nice
every time you're in St. Louis, I feel like when you leave, I'm like, okay, I have like 8 more months of things to practice now. You leave us with all this great information. And we were just making some shorts earlier, and I was like, man, we should just go live on our YouTube channel and talk to the people and maybe have a little back and forth between us, have a little back and forth between you. So as we're going here, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat because we can see the chat. But Chris, did you want to maybe start somewhere?
Yeah, you know what's funny? We were just playing Perdido, which has this particular bridge, which is the same bridge as I Got Rhythm. So let's talk about this a second. So like Barry's classes would be broken up into several things. His first class, he would talk about his harmonic concepts, which are his scales of chords ideas, the 8-note scales. Then he'd have a singer's class, which was awesome because they would take a standard. I was just telling Bob this. They would take a standard, and every singer would get a chance to do that standard in their key. So he'd line them up. He'd say all the G's go, all the A flats go.
Oh, interesting.
So everybody got a chance to go. And sometimes there were like 60 or 70 singers. It was great.
Wow.
So, and the other part that was great about that was he wouldn't take normal standards all the time. He would take more obscure ones. So you got a chance to really learn a song thoroughly because you heard it like 70 times.
In a bunch of different keys, too.
In a bunch of different keys. So that was great. And then the last class, which was the class that I was like totally obsessed with, was the horn class.
Yeah.
And this is where he would talk about his single note ideas, which are separate from his scale of chords ideas because it really just thinks of 7-note scales as opposed to 8-note scales.
Right. Just to break that down. So he'll think about these as like...
Exactly.
Up
right,
to the
right.
7th and down.
Exactly. So for instance, one of the things that he's known for, that he's unique for, is he used to have these things called scale outlines. So like on the bridge of this song, Perdido, which is D7 for 2 measures, G7 for 2 measures, C7 for 2 measures, and then F7, and then a quick turnaround. But anyway, so we'll do D7 up and down. Play the scale up and down. Right. Now you would do G7 up and down. Now you do C7 up and down. Now you do F7 up and down. It's perfect because that's also for I Got Rhythm. It's the same thing. Now what happens is it not only tells you what scale to play, what notes you can choose from, but it also gives you the feeling of the length of time it goes for. So that's great. It's like 2 totally super important things for you to work on.
By the length by the length of time it goes for, you mean the whole scale itself.
Exactly. So watch, if we played it in time, let's play the bridge together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, yeah, I get you.
See?
It gives you
Yes.
that. I get you. Okay, very, very
So
cool.
it gives you the feeling of like, oh, this is 2 bars. So when you do something up and down, it's generally 2 bars. If you do something just up, it's generally 1 bar.
So again, we're talking 8th notes here. If you do something up and down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 2 and 3. Right. It gives you almost all the way there through. Okay.
Perfect. So now, that's the first thing that you conquer, is something like that, where you're feeling the length of time for something. Now, you got to know a whole bunch of things to do on each one of those scales. You have to know a bunch of stuff to do on D7, a bunch of stuff on G7, a bunch of stuff on C7, a bunch of stuff on F7. But let's deal with D7 for a second.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what he'd have you do. After you do the scale up and down, he'd have you do the scale in thirds. Do that.
Like,
Just in thirds. And then come down, starting from the 3rd, coming down. Yep. Then he'd have you do the scale in triads. And then what he would call a chord, which most people call arpeggios, but in Barry's world, a chord is play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. So the first one's going to be D, F sharp, A, C.
it's like a D7 chord.
Next one.
Like this?
Yep, just like that. Down. Those are great, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now those are just basic things that you have to know. Then he introduced this idea, which we kind of talked about earlier, of a pivot. So do me a favor, play the D7 chord up again, D, F sharp. Now what a pivot is you take those 4 notes, which are D, F sharp, A, C. You keep the D where it is, but you play the F sharp, A, C an octave below it. Right, and you should be able to do that from every degree. So what right, go ahead. Right, So great, right? You're going to use those all the time. That's the first couple of things. Then he would do something like the thirds that we just did, right? He would say, start off by putting a half step before the first note. So instead of D, F sharp, play C sharp, D, F sharp, and do that up the scale. Right. Correct. Yep. Same thing, coming down, da, dee, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, da, dee, da. Yep.
Like that? In front of the first note?
Yep, in front of the first note. Now, if you could do it for the thirds, the next thing you did was a triad, so do it before a triad. First note of the triad. Right? Isn't
Like
that
that?
a nice one? Bobby-dee-da, those are great.
Very handy.
Awesome, right? Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
then if you could do it, then you could also do it for a chord. Next one. Right. Right. Interesting fingerings, right?
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
into little funny spots.
It is a little tricky, yeah.
Okay.
And then here?
Yes, exactly. Great. Right. Okay. You can also do those.
I feel like Brad Meldau with those. Sounds like...
Great, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. So also he used to do those instead of the half step below the chord as eighth notes, he would make them into a triplet. So ba-do-ba-do-dee.
Oh,
Yeah.
like...
Yes. Da-do-ba-do-dee. Yes. Yes.
Nope.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
So see, already you started putting two things together. You did the half step below but made it into a triplet, but then coming down, you did it as eighth notes. So you already are mixing up. That's the idea. See, none of these do you do like a series of them in a row, because as much as they're beautiful things to practice, you don't want them to sound patterny, where you're like, okay, let me run this pattern of chords things that I know.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like...
No, it's not an exercise, right?
Right.
You want to be able to grab any one of those you want at any time. So the only way you do that is by doing them up the scale like this. So now, there were some smaller things that he used to do too. Like he used to say, when you say scale up and down, right? So start from D, do the D up to C, then back to D. But now you should be able to do that from every degree to every degree. So now you start on E and go E to D. Right, so you're just going up 7 notes, right? Next one, F sharp. Next one, G. A. B natural. C. Then back to the first one. It's great, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you could do 7 notes, you should also be able to do 3 easily, right? D, E, F sharp. Play those 3. So now go up the scale like that. Ba ba dee da da dee da do dee da do dee.
Like that?
Right. You should be able to do 4 notes. Yep. 5 notes.
This is actually great. What you were mentioning before about like on the chords, the fingering. This is why you go up the scale, for at least for on piano, because each key is going to have, and each chord is going to have specific challenges for the fingering. Like I don't really want to do this. I don't want to put my thumb here for all our pianists. I don't want to have my thumb on this F sharp. So I'm going to start this one on my 4th finger.
Right.
So I can cross over there. But I wouldn't know that.
Unless you're practicing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So, okay, 5 notes, 6, blah, blah, blah. Now, how about this? What if we said start on the first note, go up 3 notes, then jump up a 3rd?
Like that?
Yes. Ba-ba-doo-bee-dee-ba-doo-bee. Up.
No.
when you come down, start jumping down the third first. Dee-da-dee-boo. That's cool.
Very
exactly,
cool.
exactly. Those are great. Now, for instance, what if we said, start on the fifth. Yes, now you're on the second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now do me a favor, come down and put 1/2 step between the tonic and the 7. And then maybe pivot a chord. And then come down the scale to the third. 5, 4, 3. Yeah, bob doobie doobie doobie. Yeah, now.
Hello, Bebop.
Now, if you really want to be bebop-y, you'd put a 16th note triplet on the D. Watch. Ba ba doobie diddly dee ba doobie dee da da. Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
This is going to be...
Yeah, but that's good. But see what it makes you do? It makes you have to refinger something. Right.
I got it. No, I don't. I don't got it. Chris?
Yeah. But this is what I mean. Like, yeah. Oof. So okay. So this is what I mean by putting stuff together. Da do be do dee do dee dee dee. That was a series of things. That was going up the 3 notes, going up there. So this is just, these are little connecting pieces. This is the way I see Barry stuff, where it's connecting pieces. And what's great about it is you're going to put stuff together in a way that I never have, and vice versa.
Right.
So even though we know the same information, and I might check out your solo and I'd be like, oh, I know what all the components are, but I have never put them together in such a beautiful way that Adam has, and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's what's great about it. So when Barry used to teach us about like transcribing a solo, he never said, transcribe this bird solo and then we're going to practice it in different keys or something like that. What he would say is, take 2 bars of something and then we'd work on those 2 bars, but then we would try to take that particular thing up the scale every degree. So that, and the purpose of that was, then we'd be able to say, okay, I'm going to steal this Charlie Parker phrase, but I'm not going to really steal the Charlie Parker phrase and then just become a Charlie Parker clone, where now my solos are going to consist of, okay, here's my Charlie Parker phrase, here's my Sonny Rollins phrase, here's my, Sonny Stitt phrase,
Insert
whatever.
Dizzy Gillespie phrase into
Right.
slot
That is
D,
not what our music is supposed to be. Our music is supposed to be improvisation. So what he used to have us do is take a thing and say, oh, what did he do there? He went up a chord with a 1/2 step below, he put in 1/2 step. Okay, let's learn to do that from every degree of the scale. So for instance, if I said to you, go up a chord from the root of D, go up a chord. And then just come down a scale note. Now go up to do that from every degree of the scale. Next one. Yes. So where maybe Charlie Parker did it from the 5th, maybe you like it from the 3rd.
Right.
But guess what? That's still stealing a Charlie Parker idea, but it's not copying his lick.
It's the concept.
It's the concept. It's becoming closer to what he's thinking, hopefully. I mean, nobody knows what he was thinking.
It's amazing,
he's a genius.
Right? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And that's what Barry, I think, was the master at. It's like getting people to see that kind of stuff. Now, I got another thing, man, if you want to see this.
Hold on, I just want to check the comments here, Chris. We are live. Everybody, thanks for being here. Isn't this fun? Give it up for Chris Parks.
Yeah.
He just dropped more knowledge in like 10 minutes than I have in my whole teaching career. Just checking it out here. This is very funny. Joe says, wow, Adam is finally learning to play bebop. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate the support. Oh, man. If you have any questions as we're going, by the way, please put them in here.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So another thing that Barry used to talk about, which was also, I feel like it was brilliant, was he had this rule for the tritone. And what his rule was anytime you were on a dominant going home a fourth higher to any other chord. It didn't matter. So in this case, D7 is going home to G7, right? Now, it could have been G major, G minor, whatever, G half diminished, G diminished. It could be anything. But if you have a dominant that's going home a fourth higher, he used to say you could substitute also that dominant scale with its tritone. So if we say D7, play a D7 scale up and down again like you played. Now do me a favor, play an A flat 7 scale against that D7 chord. Don't change the chord. Yes. You see? Yeah. Now, that's going to give you, what's interesting about that is it's going to give you two of the same notes. The third and the seventh are obviously going to be the same. But the other 5 notes are going to be different. It's going to be 5 different notes. But I got news for you. That's every alteration of a dominant you're ever going to come up with in your whole life.
Yeah.
That's it. They're all there. Now, if you learn how to play D7, let's say do that chord up from the 5th again. Or do a chord up. Oh. And then come down a scale note. Now do me a favor, do the same thing on A flat 7. Go up a chord. You see that?
And like they work superimposed.
You can do either or. Yeah, so watch. If you were soloing and you said on D7, you said, See, I was just playing it. Yes. Yeah, beautiful. You went into the G7 beautifully.
So you did the one in D7 from the 5th.
I did the one in A flat 7 from the 5th. Isn't that
And then just down the scale.
Yeah, and then just down the scale, and you figure out pretty ways to connect A flat 7 with G7. Yeah. So now you could do that with anything. Now that's a way of saying, okay, suppose I play the same phrase on D7 as I do on the tritone. So what if I said play of D7 6 7 6 7, and then jump up and grab 6 5. Bobby doo ba dee da. Now do the same thing on A flat 7, and then end on the 5th of G. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. So do that, or say. Or you could do it for the whole 2 measures. Watch. Bobby do. Watch. Start on D7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bobby do it. Yeah, that's great. Oh, awesome. Now, that's one way you can approach it, where you say, I'm going to duplicate the same thing on D7 as I can do on A flat 7. Same thing. But then there's running D7 into G7, which means you have to know 2 things. And Barry was slick about this. He said, there's only 2 possible ways to run a chord into another chord or a movement. There's only 2 possible ways, and that was notes in common or notes that surround. So we had a whole thing on Open Studio about this, notes in common, notes surround. It's such a, it's like one of those things that he just said in passing. He didn't even say it that much. But when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Every scale that I go through, when I'm running from one scale to the next, I either have notes in common or notes that surround, so that I try to surround it right before the first beat of the next chord. So
surround what?
Okay, perfect. So you surround the not common notes. So I'll show you what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So if we said D7 and G7 have all in common notes except for what?
The F.
The F. So now what's interestingly enough, the 2 notes of D7, the E and the F sharp, surround the F. Yeah, see, dee doo da, exactly. So you set up your line to say, oh, when I get to this point, watch. If I said, see what I mean? Yes. So now that's a surround note, okay?
Okay, yeah.
All the rest of them are in common notes.
And if you're going from the G7.
Yes, that's the one. Okay, now where it gets interesting is, if I want to run D7 into its tritone, which is A flat 7, now I only have 2 in common notes and 5 surround notes.
So there's like so many options.
Exactly. Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. Your example was perfect. That was perfect.
I was just, the first thing that I was on this, C, and if I'm going to A flat, I can surround the second of A flat, the B flat.
Yeah,
of
man.
skip that
Yeah.
third.
Yes, that's great. That's great. So wait. That's great. That's great. So wait, what if we said? Wait, let's say. Let's put it in time. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Oh, it'll be right there. That's great.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's perfect. You see how perfect that is? That's
sounds
perfect.
really
So
good.
that's surrounding. That's surrounding. You see? So now in common notes are different. Would be like, for instance, if I said, start on the third of the D and come down and put 1/2 step between the tonic and 7. We're going to come down. Right. Now, that's the flat 7th of D, but it's also the third of A flat.
The C.
The C is the third of A flat.
Oh.
So what if I said pivot a chord, but thinking about that C as the third of A flat? Yeah, but pivot a chord.
Oh, pivot a chord. So.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
You see what I mean?
So if we were pivoting on a D7, it would be this.
Right, which gives us, that, exactly. Perfect.
But if we're pivoting
Yes.
on thinking about this now, as soon as I hit this, A flat 7.
Exactly.
That's so good, man.
Now, have you ever played that in your life?
I'm sure I have at some point, but maybe
Right.
not. No, I haven't actually. No, I have not.
Isn't that slick, though? So that's what I mean about notes in common and notes that surround.
I really thought I've played everything by this point. I'm old.
But that's what I mean, man. There's so much pretty stuff in there with just those two. So now, obviously, if you're a person that's practicing, and you're obviously famous for saying all 12 keys, played in all 12 keys, and you're good to go.
What is that?
What is that?
Say
Have you
that
ever
again?
heard that? So, but think about it. If I took the bridge of this I got rhythm bridge, how many dominants could I do if I think about their tritones?
8.
Yep. So you got D7, D7's tritone, which is A flat 7. Then you got G7, G7's tritone, which is D flat 7. C7, C7's tritone, which is F sharp 7. F7, F7's tritone, which is B. Yes. So all the things that you were able to do for D7, you should be able to do not only for D7, G7, C7, and F7, but also their tritones.
So by all the things, you're talking about like when we were going like
Yes.
stuff like that, like approaching a
Exactly.
triad. I need to be able to do that on the A flat 7 too. The
Yes.
G, the
Yep.
deep,
Correct.
the wait, yeah.
Yep.
Just gotta keep going. And then the F.
Isn't that great? I
It's a
just-
lifetime of work, man. This is incredible.
But listen, hey,
Anytime anybody's like, "What should I practice?" Practice that.
yeah.
Practice that.
Nobody said our music was easy.
The bridge on rhythm changes. Good gravy.
Yeah.
I like this. Thank you, Joe, for adding such flavor to this broadcast. Wherever Adam is playing this weekend, he's gonna burn. I think that's a compliment.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Oh man. Some people are saying like, does Adam get a discount on the lesson from Chris?
No. The answer is no.
And Tom, God bless him, says Adam has to pay double.
I agree, Tom.
Oh my gosh. That's funny, man.
People should know this is the kind of stuff we work on in Open Studio Pro all the time.
We actually do work on this. Chris is on there every day working on
All
this
the
exact
time.
same stuff.
This is all we ever talk about.
it's
Is
true.
stuff like this.
Are there any questions for Chris? I know we have some stuff here on, do you have any comping sauce? There's some stuff here on, if we want to get on the scale of chords, Chris. Chris has a flight he's got to catch in like 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
we don't have all day, but we will definitely be taking some stuff here.
Yeah, let's talk about scale chords just really
Sure.
quickly.
So Alexander has a question here.
Yeah.
You want to maybe tackle this regarding Barry's scale of chords over a D minor 7 chord, maybe the 2 and a C major. how do you handle the melody A, B, C? F6, but the F6 diminished scale has a B
yes,
flat,
a
not
B flat. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. There are some funny spots like that. That is true. He's not wrong about that. But that means sometimes you could think of, if we were going to G7, for instance, you could think of some G7 diminished scale stuff. So let's take it further from the beginning. So for people who don't know, we were just working on Barry's scale stuff that he thinks of for soloing. Okay,
Which is a whole different world.
totally different world.
Like, I think sometimes people think of like the traditional, whatever, Berkeley scale chord theory. It's all kind of connected, but for the way that Barry and these bebop musicians were thinking about this stuff, it was kind of two different areas.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. The one thing I'll say is the part where Barry's thinking about harmony, as far as I know, is completely unique to him. I never heard anybody else talk about harmony like this. I've heard about all the different music schools. I never heard anybody talk about harmony like this. And that's as follows. In Barry's world, there's no such thing as a chord. So for instance, that person brought up D minor 7, play a D minor 7. As that person also said, that D minor 7 belongs to a scale. The scale that it belongs to is F major 6 diminished scale. So that D minor 7 is just an inversion of an F6. So what it is it's 4 notes of F6, play those 4 notes, F, A, C, D, and the 4 notes of G diminished. So that is the scale chords. So now if you just play those chords up in closed voice, you're going to get pretty chords. Oh, you double in the root? I love that sound. What do they call that? Locked hands? Or,
Locked
yeah,
hands
I love
is
that.
what, yeah, this is a very pianistic.
I love it. Oh, I love those.
But we can do some cool stuff. Little swoops, and you can also do some like using, especially like on the 5th or the root.
Yeah, beautiful, man. I love those. But anyway, so he sees a D minor 7 as belonging to an F6 diminished scale. Okay. Now, that's everything you need to know about F6. So you just went up the chords. There's a million things we could do, but let's do contrary motion. I love contrary motion,
Okay.
especially after our other teacher here, Thomas Eccles. When I became aware of him, he emailed me, and he had worked out a whole way to think about it on the guitar. See, Barry already had this way of talking about it to pianists. But there was a part of this contrary motion thing that I always missed until I got in contact with Thomas Eccles. So I'll show you what it is. If you start on F, I want you to go up the scale. Just go up the scale 5 notes. Now go start on the F and go down the scale 5 notes. Right. Okay. Now this time start on the F and do both. Right. Now that's what Barry said. But you could keep going if you want. You could go more than 5 if you want. And then go back. Now see, I was cool with that. I was fine with that. I could do that. But then he would say to the pianist, now fill it in. So what he meant by fill it in was this. He said, start on the first note, now you go to 2 notes. Right. Now you're going to go to 3 notes, but now you can put a note in between, right? And what do you have in between? The F is in between, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now you have a triad. Now the next one, it's going to be 4 notes. That's a closed voice, diminished. Next one's going to be like an octave. Isn't that great? So now let me hear that. Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Now watch this. Ba, boo, dee, da, da. That's all F6, but that's also D minor 7. So watch. What dominant comes after D minor 7? G, right? Can you play a G7 with a flat 5 on top after that?
After this.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it again. So D minor 7. So now watch, if we were in, let's say, the key of C, and you were doing a pretty intro, you started on E minor 7 to A7. Now here, you hit a D minor 7 and then do that move. Yeah, man.
That's pretty great.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh
you
my
see?
gosh.
But what Thomas really showed me was he had spelled it out, and he has a whole system that he worked out for guitar. Also a fellow Open Studio Pro
Yeah,
teacher.
Thomas, if you're watching this, you got to come to St. Louis, buddy. I know you're in Paris, and it's beautiful in Paris, but we got to get you in the studio so you can do some stuff like this with us.
Yeah, but anyway, but this is This is Barry's world. Now, he does major 6, he does minor 6. So really quickly, let me see minor 6. You got minor 6? Yes. Isn't that great?
Still to the...
Well, watch. If a D minor 7 is an F major 6, then an F minor 6 becomes a D minor 7 flat 5. That's right, so now do that. Now D7 with a... Now, oh yeah, no, still do the G7 with the flat 5. Isn't that great? Isn't that beautiful, man? So that's F6. That's F minor 6. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Now, another place you can use F minor 6 is sometimes Barry liked to use the minor 6 diminished on the tritones minor, which means if we were playing an E7, right? So most people would call that E7 like an altered E7.
Yeah.
But Barry didn't believe in those terms. Barry would say that's F minor 6 diminished scale.
That's so crazy, but incredible when you think about it, when you break it down, because you already know your F minor 6 stuff.
Well, think about this just for a second. How many times have we been taught, right, on a dominant, if we want altered, we think, what does everybody say? Well, you
melodic
play
minor,
melodic minor,
a half step up. Yeah.
So you say, where does melodic minor come from?
Yeah.
Where did we drop that in all of a sudden? If I drop down from a different planet and somebody says, oh, on E7 I want you to play melodic minor, how am I supposed to know what that is? Now, you want to hear what's pretty? Watch, the E7 that you played, right? That E7 comes from a diminished. This is all family stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the diminished that the E7 comes from is what?
F diminished, A flat diminished, B diminished, D diminished.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if we play a F diminished, and you lower the F a half step, you get E7, right? Exactly. Now what happens if you lower the B? What do you get?
B flat 7.
B flat 7. Now you want to see, this is where Barry's stuff, you know it's right. Take that one again that you just did, lower the B to B flat. Right. Now raise it back to B. Now raise the B a half step.
I can already see where this is going. F minor 6.
That's where
So you have, in this diminished, you have E7 and F minor 6.
Correct.
By moving just
it's
a
the
half
family.
step. And if you
every dominant has a minor 6 on its fifth. Every dominant.
This is something to practice, actually, especially if you're like, I mean, even pop, like I use this in pop piano all the time, or R&B piano, like if you have to do like an altered dominant chord, because look at what is in this F minor 6. So I have this inversion with the A flat on the bottom, C, D, and F. But if we think about this in terms of E7, you got the 3rd, G sharp, you got the 7th, D, you've got the flat 13 or sharp 5, whatever you want to call it, C, and the flat 9. Right? So if you're thinking about like, right?
Yeah,
Does that sound great?
Perfect. It's perfect.
And you can just fly around on these. If you know your F minor 6 inversions in drop 2 and drop 3 and close, you can fly around on it.
And see, you know what you just proved too? Barry was not just the Bbop professor. He was the professor that taught us about harmony and that taught us about improvisation. The song that you just put in was by no means a Bebop song,
Not at all.
but man, was that beautiful. That has nothing to do with Bebop or not Bebop. That's beautiful harmony.
Well, there's a through line there harmonically where, you know, that song comes from a place where those musicians were listening to Bebop musicians. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's really cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, man, isn't that amazing? Chris Parks, everybody. How about that? How about that? Let's see, we've already done some of this stuff in the questions. Just want to make sure here. Ed says, oh, so it is more about the movement between chords than the standard harmonic techniques. It's all about the movement between chords. Like that's the thing with it, Ed. And yeah, it's like this chord also, I mean, it just so happens that, I mean, look where I'm going to, right? So I'm going to, in that R&B progression I just played, right? E7 to an A minor 7. Now what is that? What is an A minor 7? That's a C6, right? So this, we just went from this F minor 6, which is based off of the F diminished, A flat diminished, B diminished, which we know is like the dominant diminished of a C6, which is relative major to our A minor. So yes, this is all about where things are going, and it's all connected.
It's all connected. Barry, some of my favorite Barry things is he would say, "This is sense. I'm not talking nonsense. This is sense." That was one of the things he used to say.
Roberto says, really interesting. Need some hour to meditate on each idea.
Yeah,
that's
me too.
a lot. No, it is. I just want to because this is a good point, actually, is Chris is able to communicate this stuff like kind of effortlessly. You really do. And we're going kind of quick here through it. But I think what I love the most about when I discovered Barry's teachings when I was a young musician, it's like you quickly realize that it's a very narrow body of water that's miles and miles deep. So, and as all of the most brilliant concepts that humans have ever created are, it's very simple and plain to start, right? And it makes perfect sense. But in order to be fluent in it and to really understand it to the point of mastery like Barry would, and I would say like you have, it takes a lifetime of study, which for some of you are like, oh man, I just want to sound good today. But where are you going? Well, you got a plane to catch? I mean, you do. But that's for me, that's really fun because I'm like, oh, I will have something to practice till the day I die. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
sure.
It is never, you're never done. And that's a good thing, by the way. That's not anything to be like, oh, I'll never be good. There's no, and now you're good, right? Being a musician is just like taking these sounds that we love, and then just like looking at them from as many angles as our curiosity will take us. And that's what I love about Barry's concepts is like, there's so many angles.
There are so many
endless.
angles. And you know what used to happen? Sometimes in a class, a piano player would come and do something that he hadn't checked out before. And he would get so excited about seeing somebody take this concept. And the other thing that I'll end on this, that Barry used to say that was extremely humbling was, this, I don't care what anybody says, this is his theory. But after Barry told people about these scales, he would call them R scales. Isn't that a beautiful way to think about it?
Yeah.
Because in Barry's mind, it's like all of these things exist already.
Yeah, they're already here.
He didn't invent it. He just discovered it. It's already in existence. I just think that's a beautiful way to look at music in general. Like, all these things are already here, and we shouldn't feel like, oh, this is mine or this is yours. It's all of ours, and we're here to share it with everybody. And that's what I love about Open Studio is, I can't even tell you, Adam, sometimes my class is supposed to be an hour. We go almost 2 hours.
I know.
Because people start sharing things, and I can't stop because it's going, the flow is so beautiful, and I'm learning so much myself. I just love it.
Yeah, I wonder, Bob or Dan or anybody who's on here, could you throw up a link to Open Studio Pro for us here? So Chris teaches here on Open Studio. What are you doing? 5, 6 classes?
6 days, 6 classes.
6 classes a week, covering all of the things that we just worked on here. So if you are curious about going on a deeper dive and getting into a habit where you're practicing, those are all live Zoom classes every day at various times. Some in the evening, some in the midday, whenever you can. We have them here at Open Studio like 4 or 5 times a day. So if you want to become an Open Studio Pro member, it's super easy and it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of stuff for everyone. So there you go. Open Studio, just put there a link in the chat. It's just openstudiojazz.com/pro. And you can practice with Chris 6 times a week if you want. And some people do. Some people are there every single time. It's
I love
really
it.
cool.
I love it. It's so much fun.
And
it's
I know, like Tom here, like one of our Open Studio
He's one.
Pro members.
He's one. He's one.
Joe's
one.
That's right.
Ilya.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've got so many folks in here. I'm just seeing if we got some more folks up here. There's a lot of people here that are Open Studio Pro members here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Chris, thank you so much, man.
Oh, Adam, this was a blast.
It's been a delight.
I can't wait for people to see some of these shorts. They came out really good.
Well, the ones that I were in are not so great. But the ones you did are fantastic. We're going to be live here more often coming up. We plan to be live more often because it's just fun to connect with you all. Thanks for being on this one. This was sort of short notice. We appreciate you making the time today on a Wednesday afternoon, and we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, y'all. Cheers. Later, gators.